This video is going to cover the attendance tool, which is there for you to manage and track participation or attendance. So the tool itself is available in course admin, and then under learner management, it's this first tool, attendance. So the first thing we'll do is create a new register. What's typical is to have a register for all of your classes. So we can call this something like weekly class sessions if you have one class per week, or you could call it class sessions. You can use a naming convention that makes most sense for you. But for this example, I'll do an example where it is a course with one class session per week. I am going to leave the description empty and leave it as the default system scheme for now. We'll do 80% for cause for concern. That is just kind of flagging students who fall below that based on the scheme. We'll go over that a little bit more later. So here are the actual sessions. So you can do something like class 1, class 2, class 3. This is what I've recommended for instructors, but you may want to be a bit more specific in how you name your sessions. You can make that decision when you see what it looks like when you actually mark attendance. But for this example, I'll just go ahead and use this naming convention. But really, these are just cells that you can populate with what makes most sense for you. So because this is using the example of one class per week for a semester, I'll add 13 more sessions. So I'm going to put in the additional sessions that I want and click Add Sessions. And then I'm just going to go through and continue just typing in, kind of copying and pasting, and then adding in the number. So I have my 16 classes there and can click Save and Close. And now when I go to actually view the attendance data, I have my 3 demo students. So this is where your list of students would populate by default based on your class list. And I can click on this icon to then mark attendance for each student. So this is again using the default scheme. So when I click on the drop down, it just has a P and an A. So present, absent, or none, which is pretty limited. And so I'm gonna go back and create a new scheme that we can associate with this register. So I'm gonna close and done and go to this next tab called attendance schemes and create a new scheme. So I can just, again, name this weekly sessions. And based on these asterisks, we know that the symbol is required, the full name is required, and the assigned percentage is optional. So the symbol is what we saw previously with the P and the A. I'm just going to go ahead and write out the full word because that's a bit more helpful when you're going through to mark attendance. Just going to use the same symbol and full name, the same thing. So I have present, absent, and excused. Just like how I added more sessions, I can also add additional statuses. but I think this is sufficient and covers a lot. But if you wanted to add something like late or left early or other types of statuses that you anticipate or is typical for your classes, you can go ahead and add them. So for the assigned percentage, I'm going to give 100% for students who are marked present. For absent, I'm going to put 0. And then for excused, I'm going to put 100. So this is where that cause for concern percentage comes in. So students who start getting towards that cause for concern are flagged in the register. Okay, this looks good, and I'm going to save and close. And now I want to go back to my register and edit the register and select my new scheme, which I named weekly sessions. I'm also going to increase the cause for concern to 90%, just because that has been a common selection for instructors I've worked with. Okay, so I've saved and I'm going to close. And now I want to actually see what it looks like. So now I am going to edit the register and select the attendance statuses for these demo students. Just a note that you can set a status for all users all at once. So if you have many students and luckily they all attended, you could do present and save. And I'm going to save and close. Then for class 2, I'm just going to create some variation here so we can see what it looks like. Close, and I'll do just one more class. Present. Okay, so now I have 3 classes worth of data here. I'm going to scroll all the way to the right. And actually, I have 2 students who are falling below that cause for concern, and 1 student who has 2 present and 1 excused, and so they are at 100% attendance. I'm going to go ahead and click done and just highlight a couple of things about the attendance tool. That's pretty much it in a nutshell for the attendance tool. It doesn't currently link to the gradebook. And so right now, what this tool can do for you is to track and manage attendance. But if you wanted to have a participation grade, you would need to create a gradebook item. And at the end of the semester, take a look at the actual attendance data and then manually put in attendance or what that grading looks like. So luckily it does get flagged based on your cause for concern, but unfortunately, currently at least, the attendance tool is not linked to the gradebook. So hopefully this video is helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.